Bienvenidos and welcome a Cositas Mami Never Told Me, a podcast that dives deep into the Latin cultural norms that have long haunted the feminine genre. Montate and buckle up porque it's going to be a roller coaster ride. ¡Nos fuimos! Hey y'all, I just shoved a sandwich in my mouth.
The countdown makes me feel so official. It makes me feel like... What do our shirts say today? Se habla Spanglish, mine. The Latina in me is an ember that blazes forever. Sonia Sotomayor.
You know what the funny shit about this shirt is? It's for kids. But I saw it and I was like, ain't no kid wearing that. I got it at Walmart. Walmart.
During Hispanic Heritage Month?
Yep. I said, let me get a size 16. Let me get a size 16/18. So that's why you see this little cut right here.
Chubby babies. Your arms are like.
My arm is like, bitch, this ain't for you. That's because I'm lifted. I'm strong. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, people?
Para. It
Ay,
is
Dios mío.
Sunny here in LA. Sunny, and chilly. Like, I'm sure we.
What's chilly though? Because
55.
I'll take a 55 or like a 32.
My mom
is slipping and busting ass right now outside.
My mom is inside for the last 2 days talking about, yo estoy wintering.
Not wintering, like a bear.
Hibernated. She was like, está demasiado de frío para hacer nada. I was like,
Jesus. Yesterday, I am so happy that I was like, I was going to go work out at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then I was like, nah, go at 12. And then 11:55, 11:45. I was like, you know what? Not 11:45, like 11:15. I was like, let me go at 12. Because I was already psyching myself out at 12.
I saw that. I saw your lunch sweat. Yes.
Yeah. So then when I finished my workout, I looked outside. I was like, I'm glad I came at 12. Because I would have came at 5 or 6.
That's
that wasn't the way it was.
The older I get, I realize, like, I get up, I get Sophie ready. Sometimes I do 30 minutes if I'm doing like weights that day or whatever, but it has to be in the morning. Like now that I'm doing 2 days before the surgery yesterday.
Okay, 2 days.
Basically,
I need to do 2 days because if y'all really see her body, she don't need no damn 2 days. Okay, I need like a 3 a fucking day.
I'm more trying to like put sweat in my bowl so that for the 6 weeks after surgery that I.
Oh, you storing? Yeah, you storing.
Because I think
a squirrel. You storing workouts, girl.
I may have a mental breakdown. Okay.
Nah, you won't. You'll be good.
So, but I say that to say I do love this spin class that when you come here, we can't take together, but you should take for sure. It's a heated spin class.
Heated? You know I'm gonna complain the whole time. I'm like one of those people that, and people laugh all the time.
You're annoying.
No, I'm not annoying. I'm not annoying I swear I'm not annoying because I tend to do everything under my breath, but then sometimes
class, you're like
no. Sometimes I'm like, and it comes at a time where everybody's thinking it, so then everybody looks at me and everybody starts just cracking up, and I'm like, sorry.
Yeah. the thing, I love the sweat. I love the heated spin because I love to sweat, and you sweat profusely. But the teacher, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Is like he makes the class. He's gay as he want to be, but he is yelling.
A lot of energy.
He's like, bitch, you came to class. You better act like you came for a reason. You owe this to yourself. Like the whole class, the minute, and it's like he could sense the energy when people getting tired because he'd be like, don't make me start this time again. You'd be like, yo, there is something about the mind connection.
So it's spinning?
You spin, but it's heated.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I got a bike on my you've seen it. It's in my living room. Well, you didn't see it because the Christmas tree was up. Wait.
Oh yeah, I've never seen it.
So yeah, it's in the corner and
no one puts baby in the corner.
Well, that motherfucker in the corner. I mean, my husband gets on it every once in a while. I get on it for like 15, like I do a little circuit type thing. I'll do 15 minutes, then kettlebell, and whatever else. But
I have the Peloton and
girl, you be on that thing too.
It's great to have it for like days like today where I'm like, I gotta be doing recording at a time where I would be working out. So at least I'd be like, you know what? Let me put my workout clothes under, which is what I have on. After I'll do that and, get it out the way. But I usually like do a 20, 30 minute pre-warm up to like a weights class. But it's mind over matter, kid. It is a mind.
Girl, and these Reese cups.
In that weather?
Horrible. I force myself to go out at least and walk. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's mind over matter. Because when I was there during Christmas, I mean, I ended up getting sick with my whole throat or whatever. But bitch, I literally would lay out my workout clothes, and still I was like,
yo, it get dark at 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So that alone, getting dark at 5 o'clock, I'm looking for like a cover or something. Like you cozy up.
It's dark here by 5 too. By 4:30, it's the same thing. It's just
but it's nice out.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
It's sunny.
The difference.
Said about the sun.
Because when we was in Puerto Rico, it's a different energy. You know what I'm saying? Like we popping off. What's going on? What we doing?
Definitely didn't work out. Because was up at 5:30.
Yo, hold on. But we were supposed to record too. We just kept going. It was like we should have took naps. We're in our 40s.
So the funny thing is, I have a friend who takes naps, and I
love naps.
I don't know how you take naps, and he's like, I don't know how you don't take naps. But the funny thing is the episode I was editing yesterday, it was like, we're going to Puerto Rico. We're so hyped. We're gonna have so much content. This is what we're saying in the podcast. And in my head, I was like, you know what we did? We overbooked and underdelivered.
I see now why they have like content managers.
Dude, producers.
That's a whole job, B.
And social media managers, because it's about to get lit. Okay?
A nosotros se nos olvidó todo de las redes. Todito.
And a bitch is getting her tetas done. I don't know what the fuck. Nonetheless, we didn't record content. We did in Puerto Rico?
We had fun.
Lived.
Yeah, we had fun.
We had fun.
Mm-hmm. I posted a couple things. I didn't even.
The content I'm gonna post is Diana on the boat like this.
Ay, Dios mío. Legit, I almost died, people. I felt like I was gonna die.
Nobody wanted to listen to me with the drama me. A beach was
Thank you. Listen.
Oh, I'm taking this one pill an hour before we take off, and when we take off, I'm taking my second pill.
I had never taken Dramamine before, but you were the GOAT. You were clutch. You were the superhero queen of the world. Okay? Because even my husband was like, yo, I would have threw up.
Sick. Oh, my God.
Girl, thank you so much.
The thing is, it fucks up your entire day. Like, you cannot, even. It's not like when you drunk or you vomit and you feel a little better. No. No.
Your whole day is shot. And we were only there for 3.5 days. So you can't have one of them days be fucked up.
Yeah. Then you get sick. And then also you're like on a boat with a bunch of other people. It's not like you could just turn back around or be like, you know what, fuck it, we changed our mind, we want to go back. No.
Nah.
We went to Culebra, and if you guys know anything about Puerto Rico, Culebra is like this beautiful, secluded place. It takes like 45 minutes to get there. But P.S.
It felt like more. Because
P.S.
3 minutes in, I thought I was going to die.
The guy said, but this is us, right? Mad Gully. The guy's like, we want to be outside. The seas are rough. So I'm going to get to a point and then I'll decide. And we're like, no, we paid to go to Culebra.
Yo.
Well, 4 minutes in.
7 minutes in.
7. We yelling at the captain like, my man, you can go to the other beach. We're good. We don't need to go to Culebra. We is good. Good.
Oh my God.
We seen beaches. We good.
Yo, like SpongeBob would have said 7 minutes later. Yo, I swear I was like, we don't have to go. Like, we can stop right now and we can just go back. Right. I legit, and I've tapped myself to be an empath, so I picked up everybody's energy on the boat that was scared. So I almost had, so when Rocio posted, please know that I was just trying to laugh my way and scream my way out of that situation. Because it was horrible. It was very horrible. It wasn't just a little bit of rocking. It was horrible.
In our crew. I'm so glad everyone in our crew took the Dramamine, because what's more
everybody else was throwing up.
One person in your crew being sick, because then you can't enjoy.
Because if it was 50 people on the boat, I want to say about 10 vomited.
Oh, for sure.
I was like, what's happening?
And it was like when one, it's like,
and they did a great job of not letting us even have a whiff of the throw up, because I think if anyone would have smelled it, it would have been out of control. It would have been. And shout out to them, Xavier, Robel, Barbara, and Rafi. Amazing people. I forgot the name of the excursion.
It's called Sea and Land Tour, SALT.
Sea and Land, perfect.
Sea and Land
they were
tour.
So great, and I truly believe that that Xavier, the dark-skinned Puerto Rican from Ponce, is my cousin, because he only lived about 6 streets away from where my mother grew up. So I was like, "Tú eres mi primo. Tú eres como primo y prima. That's it." He was like, "Está bien."
100.
Nah, but that was awesome, and that's the energy that Puerto Rico and Puerto Rican people have.
Oh my God.
We had such a good time.
Mojito
Then we came back to this gray ass cold state.
Wow. I came back to California and it was gray and cold too.
Ugh.
Wasn't Connecticut, but it was gray and cold.
Yeah, gray and cold.
It's still, it's like I keep saying, and I'll keep saying, nobody told me about this season in California. Like, yes, it's sunny, but we have had a substantial amount of
rain, right? Yeah.
Rain, not only rain, but like gray days. Like gray.
Is Seattle creeping down on you?
Bitch. And for me, gray is what gets my mind fucked. Like I gotta literally like see sun or sunlight.
Sorry.
Lola, it's a podcast.
Lola. That's the mailman. Oh, sorry. She never barks. I'm gonna mute. Go ahead.
So, while Diana mutes, we were in Puerto Rico living our best lives. We didn't record any content. We have content. We'll make something out of it. But we had an amazing time. That is to be said about non-toxic relationships. That brings us into today's episode of La Relación es bien tóxica. Okay. While I talk to myself and you guys who are listening, today we're going to explore toxic relationships and like what they mean in heterosexual relationships, relationships with friends,
oh my God,
relationships with boyfriends, relationships with
parents,
boyfriends who may be boyfriends who have wives while you have a husband.
Oh,
toxic. Let's get into it. Toxic relationships with parents.
Just any relationship could be toxic. Any relationship could be toxic. And if you don't know that you're in one, we will have some guides and some words and types of situations. And if you see yourself in one, then maybe it's time to get out of it. Or try to change it up. Get some therapy or something. We're not telling you to pick up and leave your husband or stop talking to your family member.
Pick up and leave your husband.
Or pick up and leave your husband.
Stop talking to your family member.
Or, but in some instances, people can't actually do that. So they're gonna have to therapy it out, or try to find a different solution. So,
You know what the worst part about the therapy aspect? Because I am in therapy. I actually am a huge proponent for therapy. But the worst part about therapy is that when it comes to relationships, period, toxic or non-toxic, the worst part is that when you are in a friendship or relationship and you're the only one in therapy, it's like you are because my goal forever is to be my best self so I could show up as my best self in my marriage and my friendships, as a mother, whatever. Obviously, this is like intentional work and it's constant work. But the worst part is when you are in therapy to better yourself and having these like revelations or things that like, that's why I do that, or this is why this happens, but the other person is not. You know what I'm saying?
So you're almost doing half of the work.
Yeah. So it's like, you go into a conversation where you preface it with all the tools you've been given in therapy to be like, which is very much what I hear you saying, what I am feeling, or what I hear you're feeling. You get what I'm saying? But for someone who's not in therapy, all they hear is the attack on them, when really you're going in trying to preface the situation to not make it awful, if that makes sense. Because you're like, fuck. We have those people, we have those relationships, friendships, whatever, that whatever reason we keep in our lives because we're loyal, dumb bitches. But you have those people that before you get on the phone, you gotta like...
You got to say a prayer.
You
got to burst some sage. You got to go get a sound bowl.
Yes.
You got to talk to Jesus or to whomever.
Not a sound bowl.
Really, I was going to get one, honestly. But, just on that, here we go. Here we go, girl. Let's just sage the space. Let's just sage the space because estamos aquí para buena vibra.
Buena vibra only.
Y esas relaciones que no son para nosotros, hay que botarla. This just smell like weed for real. I just smoke this shit. Let me smoke this shit.
Diana's son earlier comes in the room and he goes, they smell like weed.
What you know about weed smell? Sure.
You're so innocent.
Oh man. But toxic relationships. So one thing that one of my best friends' mom, may she rest in peace, Aunt Mom, would say, if you can't hear, you're gonna feel. If you can't hear, you're going to feel. So I think that a lot of people are warned. Well, I won't say a lot. Some people are warned of the relationship that they're walking, or, because there's always friends or, associates. Like, don't deal with that person. That person's not a good person. That person's done this. That's, and the love and all this stuff that you almost want to not change them, but that's not going to happen to me. That won't happen to me. There's so many people that want to change others and the way that they do things, and then they be stuck with that shit. So if you don't hear, you're gonna feel.
Yeah, honestly, I love that. If you don't hear, you're gonna feel. Basically, there's no way of getting around the reality of the toxicity of a situation.
If something stops bringing you joy, a relationship of any kind, like we said at the top, whether it's parents, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's a sibling, a friendship, if it stops bringing you joy, you almost got to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't be feeling sad with somebody that you love. Like, and this is what I mean, right? So this is a new word last few years, gaslighting.
Oh yeah.
Which I have found out now that it is a form of domestic abuse. That's when people start. It starts questioning. No, they have it down as a form of. They have it down.
Yeah, gaslighting could be in depending on the situation, but it could be at work. It could be with a friend.
It could be anywhere because you are manipulated to think that what you're feeling, it's not valid. You start questioning your own sanity.
And that's where it begins.
That's horrible. That is absolutely insane. And I've heard, conversations with girlfriends and people that I share love for. And sometimes I do share, well, maybe you shouldn't. Well, maybe you should do this, right? But when people are in that love and they start making excuses for the other person, you're like, maybe I shouldn't say nothing else. Because you ain't going to win. It almost like people got to see it for themselves. Like, I don't know. Have you ever seen anybody like in a toxic relationship? I know I've been in one and I was like, hell no, I'll beat that dude in the head with a fucking curtain rod. And I was like, I'm out. Because you ain't about to dictate what the fuck I'm doing.
Anyone in a toxic relationship?
Well, we need to speak like we you know.
What day of the week are we talking about?
Oh no.
Because
Oh shit.
I've subscribed to toxicity. Maybe because toxicity has been one of the examples that I've seen growing up respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like the older I get, I'm so thankful that I can like put myself in a mindset where it's like, that's not quite right. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my sister were just talking a few days ago and I said, you know, I'm trying to have this attitude of gratitude, like seriously, not just like be about it, not just like say it, but like genuinely have an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of like, I'm here for a reason. God knew this moment was happening when he created me, before he created this very second. He knew whatever it is, that my husband was going to be in the hospital, that my daughter, that whatever, that I would live in LA, that I would go through this, that whatever. So the attitude of gratitude has allowed me to be like, just because that's what you've seen doesn't mean, one, that you have to be a reflection of that, or two, that it was healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that brings us to Cositas Mommy Never Told Me, which was like, Cositas Mommy never told me. Mommy never told me toxic relationships exist. Toxic relationships exist in very close vicinities. And it's okay to walk away from toxicity. What Mommy showed me is that you stay. Is that
when you bring a problem, like let's say if you're having an issue in your relationship, whether it's my current relationship or in the past. Pero nena, it's okay. You know that men like making an excuse for my man. Like, are you listening to me?
100%.
Like, can you not be on my side? Like, what's going and not even that I need her to be on my side, but just listen to what I'm saying. He fucked up. And it's not because of anything I did.
What is it that sometimes it's like, well, what did you do? You know, it's like, even if the question to you isn't back, what did you do? ¿Qué tú hiciste? It's right. More like the inference behind it is like,
you must have done something.
Yo te conozco.
Right.
¿Qué tú hiciste? Yeah. Without saying.
You must have did something. Because he ain't just going to act like that. You know, even though you know me my whole life, you just gonna side with this motherfucker. Right? So what are some signs that we could guide our people with? Because I know I wrote a few down. Well, I wrote a lot down.
Go for it. Because it's the crazy part. So I had a few girlfriends over. My girlfriend has lived here 20 years and she's from Windsor. We've been friends since we were like,
Windsor, Connecticut?
Yes, we've been friends since elementary school because her mom and my mom are friends. Nonetheless, she moved here 20 plus years ago. So she has her whole community. Unfortunately, she lives far, which is like living in Harlem and living in Brooklyn. You might as well live in another state. So we got together for a Friendsgiving. So she invited her friends who were great. But one of her girlfriends is like beautiful, like gorgeous. Like that girl who walked in the room and you're like, oh, fuck. Like, I have no fucking shot. You know what I'm saying? Because she's got...
Here I go. I have to bring out this personality of mine.
Yeah, like I got to be like, no. So she's like, and then she exudes this like, naturally exudes this like sexual... Like, you know how there's just women, like, I feel like I walk into a room and...
Like Jessica Rabbit?
Yeah.
Like the cartoon, Jessica Rabbit?
I feel like I'm an attractive woman, but I'm definitely like giving off this, like, ooh, sex vibes. She naturally does that. And this is in a room of women. It's not even like she's like, it's just her personality. And then to top it off, she's so sweet. I say that to say, we're all having a conversation. And when she starts describing to me the relationship or situationship that she's in right now, I literally wanted to shake her.
Like, do you own a mirror?
I said, girl, this is the definition of toxic. Like, she's with this guy who is like, doesn't want a relationship. Mind you, it's been 1.5 years. So you're in a serious
relationship. That's a relationship. Yeah.
He's sleeping with other people. She justifies it by like, they're not exclusive. Basically,
but I bet you she's not sleeping with nobody else.
Exactly. And then more importantly, emotionally, what are you doing? Emotionally, okay, yeah, you've had the conversation. You guys aren't exclusive. But emotionally, like, this is the thing that we do. We justify the toxicity and we justify it by denying how it makes us feel. You know, you take it for, yeah, but you know, we're not exclusive. But do you?
We're just going with the flow.
But it's flowing what you want to do.
Right.
So you check your phone to see if he's texting you. You go. There's levels to this shit. So it's now you're playing yourself.
Right.
But when she like describes like in the 1.5 years that they were together, he left his wife. Do you hear that feedback?
That's probably my broiler.
Oh, okay.
For my heater.
The 1.5 years they were together.
Dog, broiler, check.
Check, reality. He left his wife in the 1.5 years that they were messing, went back to the wife. So they're separating, goes back to the wife, comes back, they're messing. It's like the toxic, the man has so much.
So she got to walk away.
Girl, but she don't want to.
It's probably good.
And I asked her, I was like, "Is the sex amazing?" She's like, "The sex is good." It's like it's.
Oh, it's good. It's probably the challenge of like getting him.
I feel like I don't know if it's a disservice that was done to us in our upbringing or what it was, that we genuinely feel like you'll never find something better, even
like
though
the chase. The chase is out of like control.
Yeah, she has a son, a baby daddy that didn't work out. You know, like I guess traumas in relationships start to make you make decisions that allow you to be in situations that don't feed you. I've been there. Plenty.
Hello. If somebody says they haven't, thank you for sharing your perfect world.
And thank bullshit. You for being a bad liar, bitch.
Because that's bullshit.
No, it's like, I think it depends on the season. It depends on the person. It depends on where you are in your life. And yeah, man, like I've even had really toxic, you know, I take pride in my female friendships, but I did go through an adult season where I had a very toxic female friendship in the sense of like, I didn't want to see it for what it was. And I felt like she was super opportunistic. And then one day she just ghosted me. And I cried.
That's a trait.
I cried like I broke up
with somebody.
A man. Like this.
Yo, that fucking ghosting shit.
We were like this.
When did that happen? When did that start happening? Like, because I know I used to get ghosted back in the day, but it wasn't called ghosting. I got ghosted a couple times. You know, when you beep somebody and they don't call you back. The beepers. I'm aging myself. But that ghosting shit, like, that's bad. That is not good.
I cried.
That is not good.
I like 2 months mourned her. Like, it was like a best friend.
But then you saw after the morning.
No, then I realized, I was like, you know what? This was never a good situation. And then I ran into her at an event. I mean, long story short, she started dating this guy. She didn't want to tell me about it because he was one of my husband's frenemies. And at the time, she was like being Phil's assistant, even though I told them both that wasn't a good idea. You don't shit where you eat. She needed a job, blah, blah, blah. So then, of course, you know, it's like we thought it could figure itself out. She didn't want to tell us. And then, of course, she's messing with this dude who, of course, I knew he was a loser and a player, but she was trying to get saved. which was proven when now she has 2 kids by, someone who's semi-affluent, an athlete, I will say. And I ran into her and she was like, I'm so sorry. We should go to dinner. That dinner that's never going to happen. But at that point,
you agree to it and you'd be like, oh, yeah.
Like, sure. I was like, girl, whatever. It's like water under the bridge, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, not happening.
You ain't never coming to my space again. Keep your toxic shit away from me. Isn't it amazing now that we are able to, we're able to figure that out now? When you're older, you pick up on these traits easy, like fast. And you're like, yeah, girl, fuck out of here. In your head, you're like, fuck out of here. But you're like, yeah, girl, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. No, ma'am.
But some of the traits, like I was saying, the gaslighting, which I brought up, the lack of support.
And you describe gaslighting for people, because I think it's a terminology that is new, as you mentioned. And I don't think a lot of people are familiar with it.
So it is,
but they never take the time to really look up what it means.
So, dictionary, Google, to manipulate someone using them rewind. To manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning.
In English,
that's
that means
fucking crazy. And it is also a form of domestic abuse. So in other words, if like somebody, so an example would be, okay, you saw your significant other with somebody at a restaurant with your own eyes. Nobody else told you that you saw him, but you're so devastated that you didn't even go up to them to say, oh my God, I saw you, blah, 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 blah. Your person comes home and is like, I saw you at the restaurant. You thought you saw that. They just sat down for a second. They wasn't there for that long. That's my sister's friend. We grew up together. You crazy. You bugging. That's what you saw. Get out of here with that shit. You know damn well, what do I have to see you bend her over the fucking table and put it in her ass in order for me to know that y'all fucking?
And then he's going to say he was just giving her a rectal exam.
Not a rectal exam. Not a rectal exam.
She was getting booked. I mean, but gaslighting really can happen anywhere. At work, it's just like a feeling. It's a feeling you get. Like for me, I realized when gaslighting became a term, or I'm sure it always existed, but when it became a popular term, I was like, oh my God, I got gaslit like over and over and over. It was like, for instance, I'll never forget, we had to do a big presentation for Bed Bath & Beyond, like a huge, like all category presentation, blah, blah, blah. And my president says, we're like trying to figure out how we should come in, like what we should do, how the partners should come in. And I don't know why he said, this is a white man. He says, well, what are we going to show up like the cast of Empire, all ghetto? And I, of course, I'm the only woman of color in the room. And I stood there and they all looked at me. And I was like, I didn't say anything in the moment. And then I was like, well, why y'all looking at me? I didn't grow up in the ghetto. Like, why?
But they assumed
that.
That
gaslighting happens when I said that. And they're like, no, I mean, we didn't. I wasn't.
Right. Exactly.
This is what continued. No, we weren't. I wasn't referring to like an actual ghetto. It was more like an unorganized presentation. And then it was like, oh no, it wasn't. We weren't referring to you. And it's like, I knew it. I felt it in the moment immediately. Right. I was like, oh wait, because I'm the brown girl in the fucking crew. I know about the ghetto, which I do, but I ain't gonna let these motherfuckers know I know about the ghetto.
Y'all gotta know the intel of my ghetto-ness.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm VP at this company just like the bitches here who are not VPs and directors. Because they white. Why didn't you ask them about Empire? And more importantly, bitch, I don't watch that TV show.
How the fuck you know about Empire?
Basically.
What the fuck?
But the gaslit is the moment where it's then denied what you're feeling.
Right.
Like the feeling that
when they placed it there.
Yes, the feeling that I was just what is it called? That I was just not sectionalized, but I was just called out without being called out, like with the eyes, with the energy, with the comment, as you all look at me. And then it's like, in the moment, I was like, wait, these motherfuckers looking at me to get justification on ghetto? And then when
you should have started doing the,
it's like the Harlem Shake. Actually, we should walk
break dancing
with a boombox into Bed Bath and Beyond and be like, we here.
Oh my
God. The fuck? By the way, that was a toxic relationship.
That's horrible when it has to be work.
With my CEO was toxic. It was the first time in my career that it was toxic. Nothing I did was good enough. Nothing I presented was ever right. Nothing. Come to find out, there was other incestuous situations happening between her and someone else at the office. But
incestuous,
mind you, I signed 36 deals, and after the first one, she didn't even look at the contracts anymore, just signed them. So, bitch, I knew what I was doing to some degree. But she never, ever credited me for anything. It was so tough. And then in my head, all I wanted was for her to like me. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're trying to do the best that you can, and it becomes like, what's the next thing that I can do to make her?
I'm like this,
seeking her approval.
Yes, because I've always been like the teacher's pet in every position I've had. The CEO, I still keep in touch with all my old CEOs, all my old bosses, like very on Facebook, like on a social perspective. And when I left, I said to her, this is the first time in my career that I have not been able to establish an amicable, even mentorship relationship with my boss. And that's very sad. But she wasn't having it. It was toxic. It was toxic to the point I lost 20 pounds. Couldn't get pregnant. Left. I quit. I got pregnant 2 months later. So
I wonder if she would run a weight loss. I'm joking. For me, I need to lose some weight.
You're an asshole.
No, I know how bad it was. That fucking bitch. But now look, she irrelevant.
So irrelevant.
So, ¿quién ganó?
All
right. So
gaslighting, toxic.
Controlling behaviors.
Which
when motherfuckers be like, you can't wear what you got on. Why you wearing that? You can't wear that.
That's toxic.
Oh, why are you trying to go hang out with your friends that are single? Maybe you should get some friends that have relationships.
Toxic.
Patterns of disrespect. Negative financial behaviors.
Patterns of this. Talk to us about negative financial behaviors.
Well, I have a perfect example because I had a girlfriend go through this. I'm not going to say her name, but she wasn't aware that her wife has spent about $60,000. She was a narcissist. She was ignoring her. All this stuff, like all these things that I've said so far. And she was just trying to work it out with her, trying to see. But then when
on what?
On all types of shit. All types. When I tell you all types of shit, when she was making her like transition where she was about to move and get her shit together and get an apartment and all that stuff, and she saw her credit score and her credit report, and then she went to the bank.
Wait, so
no money there. Sending money, credit cards in her name. Yeah, a whole bunch of shit. So $60,000 was the money in the bank, credit cards, and a car.
I'm sorry, baby, but you didn't see a new car drive up in your park?
No, because she did. She knew the car. She knew the car, right? She knew the car but she had told her that she bought the car.
Oh, like,
but she did all the finance. She did all the financial stuff. So she, there's a lot of couples where there's one person that takes care of the finances. And if you're in a relationship, you're trusting that. You're not thinking, and you're getting a certain amount of money. And then sometimes she would ask for money and the girl would be like, no. And she would be like, no, because this week, we have this budget. Yeah. So she'd be like, okay.
coming off like, oh, she got the money tight, got it, let me respect it.
Right.
Wow. So there's levels to that toxicity.
There's a whole bunch.
That's lying, that's financial, that's manipulative, that's using, that's stealing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's anything if you trust somebody with an amount of money and they fuck it up. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You're trusting with any amount of money. It could be $10. It could be $20,000. If you're trusting that person with it and they fuck it up, that's fucked up. That's crazy. So then the on the other side of that, if you start losing yourself, like you're just putting too much energy into the other person, where you're just losing, you stop working out, you stop self-love, you stop, doing all the things. Doing all the things that bother that individual, you stop them because it bothers them. You know what I'm saying? But it's stopping your growth. What the fuck is really going on?
Because it bothers them. But it's things that you enjoy. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, what I wonder is traits of a toxic situation something that you always have to see in retrospect? You know what I'm saying? Or is it something that you can see in the moment? You know what I mean? Like, it's always interesting to me where the worst part is, like, for instance, like when I went through a breakup when I was younger, it's like, as I'm going through the breakup, now everybody want to talk about everything they saw. You know what I mean? But while I'm in the relationship, nobody want to talk about nothing. Nobody want to talk about the toxicity. Nobody want to talk about the lies or the whatever, for instance. And that's with a man. But it's like, can you really see the toxicity in the real time?
I think it's a feeling.
Is that's that whole when a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you could do about it. Diana and I had a conversation, I don't think we were recording, that R. Kelly said one good thing if he ever did. And then, of course, he's had other great songs, but we don't condone anything he does. But the truth of the matter is, when a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you could do about it. We take until we literally do not take anymore. But even that is toxic. Like, even that trait about women, and I speak in a broad statement because we're not all like this, but what is it, especially in the Latina community, that we are taught to just take, like everything in la cruz que me toca, the cross I have to bear. And whether it's this relationship, whether it's, my son is a loser, whatever. It's like life can't be life if you don't have the cross you have to bear. And that in itself is such a toxic mindset. But I know for me, I've only seen like are we privately holding on to hope in a sense? Like, I've been in relationships where I hold on to hope, where I hold on to like what I'm being said instead of what I see happening. Now as an adult, I make decisions to like remove myself from them, but I'm just all that I just had a mind I guess it's also in a romantic setting. I think it's more difficult to see and to remove yourself. I think in a
you're in love
setting, yes. Once
you're like this.
Once love.
You're like this.
What y'all not seeing if you're not watching the YouTube is Diana covering her eyes.
Right. And it's all take, right? So the person that's...
Talk about that deposit. Talk about withdrawing from the bank.
You're giving. You're feeling belittled. You're feeling disrespected.
Ew.
And the judgment that comes with that, right? So there's people that they judge, but not because of curiosity. They judge to belittle, to make people feel less than. And that's that control. That's toxic. And to me, like friends with benefits, right? Perfect example. Friends with benefits.
So okay, friends with benefits. That means you open whatever we do. We're not in a relationship. We're not in an exclusive relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you could mess and fuck around with other people, but you don't want me to fuck around. So then hold on.
Toxic.
That's toxic. You trying to control me and my vagina, but your dick everywhere else.
Not the vagina. That's where I draw the line.
You're trying to control
You
the
can
box.
control me, but not the box.
The box. The box.
No one controls the box.
You know what I'm saying? So that's toxic. Because then if you want me to be exclusive to you and you're exclusive to me, then we got to be in a relationship. Let's call it what it is.
And that's not friends with benefits no more. That's not friends with benefits no more. That's her.
Yeah.
Conversation. That's a yeah.
Like Naya said. Shout out to Naya. Friends with benefits. My yeah. My yeah. I said, what's my yeah? She was like, a person that's available.
That's friends with
a person that's available when they call you. That's my yeah.
The old face on. That's like
the old booty call.
Come over. Let's talk about toxic relationships in families.
Oh, goodness gracious. What, jealousy and shit like that?
Yeah, because
jealousy and envy.
The other thing as Latinos is that we are raised to believe that family is family. And
no matter what.
You
stuck with us. You cannot not speak to them.
Every level of crazy, every level of toxicity, every level
how the fuck you stealing from your family? I'm just gonna go there real quick. How the fuck I gotta tell people that I'm around, that are my friends, yo, don't bring your purse in my house because a certain individual from my family gonna be there and they might steal from you. That's some bullshit, right? I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm sure they know who the fuck they are. Even ass motherfuckers.
That's toxic.
If the shoe fits.
Thievery is toxic.
Girl, I'm still in awe of what you told me. I ain't gonna say it on here, but fuck, yo.
It's real. The thievery is toxic. The belief that because it's family, you can't have a thought of toxicity. That's just how they are, and you have to know. Like, I have people in my family that are just like, there's like the cousin who, like, she always got an attitude. She rude. She don't respond to the text message. She's always on the family chain. She got to say something smart, blah, blah, blah. And the funny thing is, everyone is like, ay, tú sabes cómo es ella. And to me on my end, you know what I'm saying? She got so many daddy issues. It's crazy. But
there you go. That people making excuses for her.
Así, tú sabes que ella es así. Tú sabes que ella es así. And it's like,
and she know people doing that, and that's why she continue to be that way.
For sure. She like being the stank one.
And I bet you if they take her out of the group chat, that would be another situation.
Oh, a mí no me tenían en.
Because I'm sure she read everything.
A mí no me tenían en el chat.
I'm sure. Hold on, I'm missing a nail too. I'm sure she's reading. Estoy tuca. Hey, tuca. Oh my god.
Now I'm missing a nail.
I'm missing a nail. But you know what always got on my nerves, and this could be toxic or not, but it is toxic, but this isn't a regular relationship as well. Just lying ass motherfuckers.
Oh.
Even after they get caught in.
But how crazy is that?
How you still lying?
We put lying as like, oh, that's toxic. Then we never gonna be in a relationship. Then.
Right.
We fought.
There should be.
We shit out of luck. Cause niggas
there should be like a bigger, like a payment or something that you have to do
in a jar.
And the ones that get me are the white lie, like the simplest little.
And you're like, for what?
For what?
Why?
Just
because
dumb. Because if you lie about that,
exactly. As a woman, I'm like, oh, espérate.
If you lie about that little thing, you lying about the big shit.
And there it is, toxic. But how crazy is that we're in a space or a day and time where it's like, oh, lying? Okay. Is that toxic? Because if it is, we'll never be in a relationship.
But this is the thing. If you're listening to us, right, and we're giving you some of these cues, right, it's almost like we're not experts, we're not therapists, we're not doctors, none of that stuff. But we've been on Earth, we've been on Earth for a while, and have been in different types of relationships that we know what some of the signals are, right? And most of these traits or signs, they just make you feel bad. You don't want to feel bad. I mean, if you want to feel bad, then stay there, right? But at least voice your opinion. And that's also depending on if you're in a domestic situation where if you do voice your opinion, if you're going to get assaulted or hit, then you know what I'm saying, that's something else.
I think you just hit upon something so important. It's the feeling. It's like
it's the feels. I'm telling you.
Feeling. It's like I always say, women's intuition never fails. Like never fails. But then there's something about women who become mothers. That intuition is crazy. But the shit is, we do this. You know what I'm saying? We all do it. We've all done it. We all do it. We do this where it's like, you know what? I'm dealing with so much other shit in life. Let me just keep this right here. I don't want to see what's happening around my periphery. You know what I'm saying? But the feeling, the shit don't go away. The shit don't go away. And that's your intuition. That's your Holy Spirit. That's whatever you want to call it. It's basically like your warning. It's your body, your mind is like danger, warning, no good. You know how your body responds to stress? For me, it's my gut. I get diarrhea immediately when I get nervous, when I get anxious, when something is like wrong. Me too. Even though I've gotten much better, thank God. Like every time my husband got in the hospital, I used to forget it. I was done. My diarrhea, my anxiety was through the roof. You know, I've gotten much better at like, you know,
zoning in and
getting focused, making sure he's fine, continuing to kind of try to live and make sure things don't fall apart. But that's a feeling. That's like your body literally reacting to this trauma, the immediate trauma. So the body and the mind react to toxicity too. It's like your body and your minds are like, this is not good. Like this doesn't feel good. Like something is like when a dude is like courting you, and then one day, for whatever reason, he's having a bad day and it gets you a little attitude or a little ticky. You're like, it's not happening in your head. Like that's not happening in your head. That's an experience that happens for whatever reason. Of course, we're all humans. We have bad days or whatever, but that's when it goes from here to your heart, to your instinct to be like, I ain't like that. That didn't feel good. And however you deal with it, whether it's keep it in or call him out, call that person, call her out, whomever, which is me. Like I'm literally like, you must be having a bad day, because that's definitely not how we're going to interact. But it's listening to that feeling.
I always go drastic with it.
Right? Go in.
When, like, let's say me and my husband, if we're having a disagreement, and this was way back in the day because I don't argue with my husband now.
You know what's crazy? I was just asked that too, and I don't think me and Phil, and we've been through some really hard times in the last few years. We have conversations, but like,
yeah, I don't argue. Because at this point, it's like, we don't argue and fight for what? To be okay tomorrow? I'm good.
It's because my thing is
I'm good.
What I learned is people do what they want, period.
Point blank.
Regardless of circumstances, you do what you want. And also, if we're not breaking up, why are we going to waste this time? Like, let's go get a 5-minute timeout.
Exactly.
And then reconvene.
So like I was gonna say,
yes, with the draft.
When we had arguments or whatever, I would tell him, well, if you didn't mean it that way, then how come I took it that way? Right? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, so that's like you coming in the living room with a knife, stabbing me. Yeah, this is how drastic I took it.
Drastic. I get it.
That's my drastic. That's my drastic.
Continue.
Stabbing me, right? Leaving the room. I'm bleeding. I'm in pain. I'm crying. I'm like in pain. And the next day, I told you how I felt, and you said, "Oh, I didn't mean to stab you." And he was like, "Oh." So it don't matter. Your words stabbed me. Your tone stabbed me. No matter what, I was feeling some type because of what I reacted to what you gave me. So your reaction was to leave. So you left me in disrepair. You come back. You think everything's gonna be all right. I'm still stabbed. Like,
bleeding.
I'm still bleeding. Like, you see this? I don't got no stitches.
Bleeding.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what started. Like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, I understand now. So it was almost like I had to be like, just because, like, when a person says they got raped, you can't be like, well, was it really rape?
Yes, re-victimizing, right? Or it's like I've always said, it's like it's like asking a woman, the first thing you do is like, well, what were you wearing? Well, why were you there? Well, what were you doing?
Right.
Like, a bitch could have been high, drunk, in a miniskirt, butt naked. That does not justify rape or inappropriate interaction.
Preach.
Period.
If I want to wear a fucking thong, there's no dress code at the club.
Basically. And by the way, what people be wearing nowadays is sheer.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing. So what are you saying? She's calling out for attention to be raped? To be like forced into no.
Right.
No justification. But it's crazy that you gave that drastic example, because for me and Phil, we had a huge shift in our relationship for the good years ago, probably like 7 years ago, right after we got married. No, before we got married, actually, so longer, where it clicked. You know, it was like I had been saying for a while that I was like, it's not about how you think you've made me feel. It's about how I'm telling you I feel. And It goes both ways, because he thought that I used to talk to him like a kid. And I thought he used to talk to me like I was one of his clients. But for a long time, when I'd be like, don't talk to me like I'm one of your clients, like I'm not your assistant. And then for another situation, he'd be like, don't talk to me like I'm a little boy. And I'd be like, well, stop acting like a little boy. And I won't talk to you like. But that was before. It was more like, you make me feel like a little boy when you talk to me like this. You make me feel like your assistant. And it wasn't until we both were like, I get what you're saying, that it was a great step in our relationship, because we were now more conscious as to like, you know how sometimes you say, someone says something to you, you be like, damn, that was a little harsh. And they're like, no, I was just playing, like whatever. But you got stung by whatever they said. And it's like, bro, what matters is that
the way I took it.
Yeah, regardless of what your energy was behind it, that's just stung. And your concern as a non-toxic friend, husband, boyfriend, should be like, oh, my bad. Like, I didn't mean that. But if it stung you, I apologize. You know, note for next time. I feel like that is a huge step in relationship spirit, friendships, sexual relationships, long-term relationships. Like, once you can both be on the same page as to because people are very stuck on like, well, my intention wasn't to hurt you. That doesn't matter what your intention was.
What?
Really, how I took it is where the weight stands. You know, so that drastic knife still bleeding in the gut, that works too.
Yes.
that works too.
It worked.
Well, before we close, I do want to say, did you ever see, or your mom, dad, whomever, in relationships that now as an adult, you'd be like, that shit was so toxic?
I saw a lot of toxic relationships. I'm not gonna say my mom and dad was, because I was too young when they decided to separate. Like, no, I know, but I was trying to. I didn't see many that were close. I saw many like out in the projects. I saw things that weren't normal.
Where you're like, that's not what I want.
So I was fortunate enough to be brought up in our normalcy. I'm gonna say our normalcy, or our normal. That when I saw other behaviors. I was like, oh, like, okay. Like, getting dragged up the stairs by your hair or, shit like that.
Damn.
Or being called different type of names in front of people by your parents. Damn. Or your parents fighting each other physically outside in the courtyard,
Damn.
Shit like that. So our normal was pretty good when it came to me, my immediate family, and my cousins and them. But yeah, there was some other things that I saw that I was just like, wow. But then they'll be okay the next day. So it was just so weird.
But isn't that crazy that you saw it and immediately felt something wrong? Again, that feeling, because a lot of times, and I feel like statistics show that people then become reflections of those situations that they see. Instead of becoming different, you become exactly.
Yeah, because then you saw those kids having toxic relationships as well. Because people that were hurt people. Yeah. So
say that again.
People that were hurt people. People that were hurt people. Let us know if there's any type of toxic relationship traits that we may have missed. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
I'm sure. And that's why I'm in therapy. And that's why
I got to go to therapy. And I apologize for my dog, for my boiler coming in, for my cough mid-conversation. My throat got dry. Might have been some of that sage dust.
Things gotta go out. Things gotta come in.
Post nasal drip.
Goodness.
Something going on.
But yeah, no, like Dee said, let us know if you've been in a toxic relationship, if you're in one now, what your experience was. Toxic relationships with mothers, with parents, with fathers. I know we all got a lot of daddy issues and mommy issues. I have friends who are true professionals in their fields and don't even talk to their parents or their mom. Like, really crazy. Share with us. We love you. Te queremos.
Like us, share us. All that great stuff.
Like us, share us. Thank you for listening to
Cositas that Mommy Never Told Me.
Mommy with an I.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nos fuimos. Bye.
Nos fuimos. Bye.
All right. Hallelujah. There's another one. Gracias for listening to Cositas Mommy Never Told Me. We hope you loved this episode. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and share Cositas Mommy Never Told Me on all your social channels. Todas las redes sociales. And don't forget, if you want in on the real tea and see all of our reactions to the craziness, watch this episode on YouTube. ¡Qué bochinche!